Model planes, like the big fellows, are getting more ingenious every day, and their performance more amazing. Look at this great little flyer, for instance. It'd be hard to take the rise out of her. Up she goes, and almost a loop. Another fine takeoff, and a stunt flight that's even more thrilling, to her owner anyway, than the real thing. Here she comes, as steady as a rock, and all set for a long cruise. And here's a little beauty. Watch how gracefully she turns. And if you've never seen a perfect landing, this is how it's done.
Trips are not lips that attract these young men. The trips that might or might not be made by their model planes. They're members of a New South Wales Aero Club, and here they go. These tiny machines are all petrol-driven and are triumphs of engineering skill. How much of a triumph is seen in this magnificent flight? A real joyride on a spoonful of gas. Taking off from a motorbike is good fun and gives the machine a little more impetus. I said it gives the machine a little more imp. Oh, well, you can't expect it to stay up all day, can you?
Hundreds of young pilots of tomorrow parade for the National Model Airplane Championships at Chicago. With wings well up, they come from every state in America, the cream of the country's midget plane designers. Spare parts. Looks as if there might be a few spare parts to spare. A pusher plane that took 4 months to build. And now they're warming up for the big event. Youthful ambition literally is thrown to the winds. And it's a grand flight. Of course, they can't all be happy landings. Yes, would you believe it? One is even radio controlled. And it makes the best landing of them all. It wins the championship. These young experts are making sure that the future of America is safe in the air.
Britain's designers of tomorrow get together for St. Albans Model Aircraft Rally. Accurate in scale from air screw to tail fin, these tiny planes are built for performance and not appearance. The real test comes at the end of the takeoff. Some powered by elastic, others by petrol motors, these models have set up remarkable endurance flights. But like larger airliners, they can't always guarantee a takeoff to schedule. The influence of today's freak plane designing has had its effect even among the models, but they fly, so who cares?
The Hadley Page Aerodrome at Radlett copes with giant aircraft most days of the week, but once a year it welcomes the pygmies at the All-Britain Model Aircraft Rally. Among the many distinguished visitors from the full-scale flying world is Wing Commander Cat's Eyes Cunningham. From a worm's eye view, this flying fortress might be a real one. But it's a model like the rest. No one would dare to say only a model at such a gathering, for this is a serious hobby, and there are many prizes to be won. The modern miniature petrol engine means that scale models can also be flying models, like this beautifully made replica of a Lancaster, the bomber which made RAF history in the Dam Buster raids. With 500 clubs and 20,000 devotees, aero modelling has become one of Britain's biggest sports. As long as this great reserve of skill and enthusiasm exists and continues to grow, our aircraft industry should never lack promising recruits. At Radlett Aerodrome in Hertfordshire, 1,000 model aircraft enthusiasts take part in their equivalent of the Farnborough Air Show. All the model men are experts at their hobby, so it needs an expert to act as judge. Who better than Cat's Eyes John Cunningham, wartime fighter ace, and now one of our leading test pilots. On hand with advice is Peter Bouguet, another test pilot. But the menfolk haven't got it all their own way. Maybe it's not worth 35,000 quid, but it's an almost perfect replica of the Russian MiG. Now for the flying. Control wires leading back to their pilots make sure the planes don't get out of hand. For one day in the year, the whirring of elastic and the scream of engines replace the noise of full-size jets at Radlett Aerodrome.
At Surrey Park, Melbourne, model plane enthusiasts demonstrate the latest thing in airborne models. Many of the club's members are ex-Air Force pilots and ground crew, and this has been found a swell way of relaxing on the weekends. Each plane is powered with a miniature replica of the real thing. Tiny engines supply the necessary motive force to whiz these models at speeds of over 70 miles an hour through the air. From a bumpy takeoff, the small plane lurches into space and sets about setting a record in miniature speed. Twin lines allow the operator to control his model while in the air. The zooms and dives during the 3 minutes of flight are for the most part the will of the pilot, who is busily getting giddier and giddier as his plane whips about the course. With petrol rationing nearly at a close, there'll soon be no limit to the distances flown by these machines. A petrol liner would keep these babies in the air for hours. Small engines developing over 10,000 revolutions a minute produce nearly 1 foal power. Well, they're not large enough for 1 horsepower. The pastime of flying model planes is ranked as the most thrilling of all model hobbies, and gives the Australian youth of today a rare insight into the airliner of tomorrow.
At Kenley RAF Station, the World Championship for radio-controlled model aircraft. 12 countries were represented, including America, Japan and Russia. To the total muster of about 30 planes, Britain contributed 3. The competition was spread over a week. And imagine the knowledge and endless effort that goes into the making of a little machine that flies with radio control. That's a Japanese model. Eventually, Britain won the team prize and an American the individual championship. On a lake near Hilversum, top Dutch aeromodelers took part in a national contest for radio-controlled hydroplanes. The home-built craft are masterpieces of miniature engineering that can duplicate the flying maneuvers of the real thing. Special fuel puts terrific punch into the pint-sized engine. A final control check, and it's all systems go. The judges studied aerobatic control as the craft performed at over 50 miles an hour. The standard of model flying was of a very high order, quite a problem for the judges. And Jan Brinkman was in top form. It was this expert piece of control flying that won him the honors of the competition.